instead of taking a lot of time sharing my thoughts, I want to challenge you in a way. I had a program I did once. It was a full-day program. Gentleman came up at the first break, and he said, you know, I want to ask you a couple of questions. And I said, sure. And he said, I really loved your program, but I want to ask you these questions. Do you go to programs yourself? And I said, yeah, I do. I like to go to a variety of programs on leadership. And he said, do you take notes? Now, I knew it was a test. And I said, yeah, I'm a compulsive note taker, always take notes. What do you do with them? And I said, well, I'm a compulsive. I put them in a file pile that I put into my topical files so that whenever I want to get back to that material, I can retrieve it. Then he asked, let me just ask you a question. How many hours in the last month have you gone back to look at any notes you've taken? I remember looking at him and I said, well, that's a really good question. And then I said I had a very busy month. And then I said, I'll give you 3. And I asked him, I said, why are you putting me through this pain? And I said, well, I want to tell you what I do. I said, you could have just told me you didn't have to put me through pain. I want to stop you for a moment, and I want you to realize one of the key things before I finish the story is that I believe we have a responsibility to wake up America. Not everybody is listening to our talk shows, and many times we shy away and they shy away from the conversations we need to have. I do not remember that man's name who took me through those questions, but he made me aware of a lack that I had. I valued training, but I wasn't reviewing them. I valued doing training, and I hadn't looked at any of my notes. And so I want you to realize part of our job is to create awareness of a need. If there is no need, people don't act. I took notes after notes today, but the notes I'm going to take back are the things that I can say to people that will challenge them to think themselves, we better do something. How many agree? Music plays a role in movies. Would you agree? Music plays a key role. I love James Bond films. I like the old genre because they always had the hotel scene. And there was always a pretty woman in there. But the scene was always the same. They would go down the hotel room and they would put a key in the lock and the music would change. And you would know there's a woman in there. And I have such fun at movies anyway. I just would say out loud in the theater, don't go in there, there's a woman in there and she's evil. My wife would not even go with me to the movies. Wouldn't it be nice if life gave you music? If it was going to be a bad day and all of a sudden you got into your office and as soon as you got into the office you went, da, 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 you knew. You people are the music for Utah. You wake people up to the challenges that if we don't pay attention to them, we will never deal and save with the America that we want to have for our grandchildren. So I want to challenge you to be the music. Talk about the problems, ask questions, get people to be aware of their lack so they want to know the answers. We've got plenty of people with answers. But the challenge is let's get the need there. Final thought. I asked that man, I said, what do you do? He said, whenever I go to a training program, I limit myself to 1 page of notes. The longer my notes, the less likely it is I review them or do anything with them. I said, what do you do with those notes? I said, I put it in a notebook that I keep next to my phone, and the only time I review it is when I'm on hold on the telephone. Every time I'm on hold, I go in and I review those notes. By the time the person's back, I've reviewed an entire seminar. And I said, that's a good use of time. He said, there is only one problem. You forget who you're talking to. It's a minor irritant. You just say to the person, I have no idea who you are, but let me tell you something really important. I challenge you at your tables, if you're not finished yet, instead of just listening to people talk, why don't you share what your keepers are from this program? What are the things that you've picked up today that you want to do something about? Something that was said that hit you strongly, that made you aware that you have a need to invest a little bit more time in doing what makes a difference for this great state. Thank you for letting me be part of your party. It was wonderful. I'm dreaming that it might someday happen in California. Thank you.